Good afternoon, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Today, I got an email from someone actually asking me if I ever kind of get in a rut when it comes to silver. I've been stacking for a while. Maybe you get frustrated. Maybe you just think, enough's enough, and you want to move on. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Maybe some of you are in that position. You think you got enough, and why bother keeping on stacking? It's a topic that, it's not the first time I've heard it, and yeah, we all get in a rut. We're going to talk a little bit about why I think that is, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button right off the bat for me. It really helps me out, and it helps out with the algorithm. And leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you ever get in a rut? So the best way to start this video, I think, is to kind of talk a little bit about the price of silver, because that's probably the number one thing I think that puts people in a rut. We all know that the price is essentially not accurate. I'm just going to say it like that. We know that there is manipulation out there. Companies, businesses, banks, there's been a lot of corruption in it, and it goes all the way down. I mean, there are dirty companies out there that want to charge you obscene premiums, and by doing that, it makes it to where you overpay, you get frustrated maybe, and then, some people, YouTubers, I'm going to say it, I'm a YouTuber. I won't say that I don't think I've ever said that I expect huge prices. When I say it's going to go to the moon, I just mean $100, $125 is an easy call. Now, some people will laugh at that. They'll be like, $100 silver. Are you ridiculous? You crazy? I don't think $100 is crazy at all. I think that with the amount of money that's in circulation, with what we've seen as an all-time high before, you up that with the money supply that's been upped, and this next time around could be triple easily what it was at its all-time high. We haven't seen enough pain in terms of what's going on in the world, what's going on in the market. And what I mean by we haven't seen enough, we're in the same boat, in my opinion, that we were in 2008. The same boat. It's actually worse today. But they are doing a phenomenal job covering up what's really happening. They're essentially misleading everything. And, to a certain point, someone asked me one day what I think about that. I mean, is it in people's best interest to know everything going on? What do you think would happen if they came out tomorrow and they said the dollar's collapsing? The dollar is done. What do you think would happen to the dollar? Everybody would panic, and they'd be watching videos like this, and they'd be running out buying tons of silver. And for those of you that already have your stacks, that would be great. I mean, the stack here would be worth astronomical if that happened. But luckily, in a way, they're not trying to panic people. They're slow roading it. And people have an opportunity to get in. Is it frustrating when we don't see what we think it should be doing? Absolutely. However, in a way, it's a good thing that it's not happening like that. It gives you more time to get some more. Now, for those people out there maybe that are sitting there and they're thinking, I got enough. I ain't worried about it. I got mine already, and whatever happens, happens. And that's true for a lot of us. However, if you're looking at it in terms of this is not money, then yeah, you can have enough. And I know some people might think that sounds kind of cold, I guess, because that's like saying, can you ever really have enough money? I mean, here's the thing. If you have enough money, then hopefully you're enjoying your life. If you believe you have enough money to settle down and retire. But the truth of the matter is, in my personal opinion, this is money. This is the money. It's not the paper currencies of the world that they essentially show us. It's not this stuff. This is not money. I mean, we accept it as money, but it doesn't hold value. And anything that doesn't hold value is not classified as money. We've accepted it. We've doctored the definitions. We've dumbed down people. And we are now convinced that that is money. But that's not the case. So how are you storing your money? If you're just stacking up money in the bank, I mean, banks are in trouble right now. Let's be honest. I got a friend of mine. He's got well over $100,000 in cash in the bank and just in a savings account. He asked me a little while back, hey, I see these CDs and stuff. What do you think about them? They're offering like 6% now. Why would a bank offer you 6% for a CD? Well, the truth of the matter is because they want your money. They want you to give them your money and they want to be able to use it. They're in trouble. And here's the thing. When everything goes up in flames, when everything busts, there's a good chance that people aren't going to get their money. Now, a lot of people have this belief that, it's FDIC insured and that makes it safe. Anybody that thinks there's enough money in the insurance fund to go around to everybody, if all the banks started dropping, and here's the thing, when they start dropping, it's going to put more strain on the other ones. It's going to put more panic on the other ones. It's going to cause more people to go to the bank and withdraw their money out if they can. If they're in a CD, they're locked in, I think, most of the time. Or you're going to forfeit all your interest. So if everybody starts drawing out their money, that just puts more strain on the system and just basically pushes it over the edge. I'm kind of happy in a way that things are just kind of slowly eroding. It gives more time for people to get into it, make a plan, pick up some ounces. I mean, it doesn't cost next to nothing today to stack up ounces. I mean, you can be accumulating ounces at, in my opinion, I won't say pennies on the dollar, but really cheap. I mean, I was explaining to someone this evening about Sun Tzu, Art of War, and how 1,000 ounces of silver, 1,000 ounces, that's 2 monster boxes, could basically keep an army of 100,000 people, chariots, food, everything they need on the move for 1,000 ounces a day. Think about that. Some of y'all out there probably have 1,000 ounces. I mean, think of that. Can you imagine what at points in time people were willing to give for silver? They recognized it as value. And here's the thing. Times were hard back then. This idea of, you can't eat silver. Times were tough, but yet they still recognized silver as money. Why do you think that was? I mean, they could have had the attitude, I can't eat it. What do I want it for? No, they realized that people recognize this as value, so they wanted it. But what changed? Well, what really changed, I believe, is oil, energy. Now everything is easier to get, in a sense, because everything is produced easier. Had we stuck on silver as money in this country or around the world even, can you imagine how cheap stuff would be today? When you're dealing in silver and everybody else is dealing in paper, and then you add on essentially efficiency, stuff just getting, easy. Instead of having some guy planting cotton all day, another bunch of people picking it all day, you just got a machine. Zip, zips, the field's done in a day or two. Eventually that's going to go away. We live in the easiest time, I think, in history for essentially just good times, an abundance of everything. That's not always going to be here. I have a belief that we owe it to our kids, the generations after us. It's bad enough that we're going to stick them with a huge debt. I would sit here and tell you $34 trillion in debt we're going to stick them with, but I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think that's just the beginning, the icing on the cake, I guess you can say, because the debt is going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing, and before the dollar goes under, or as it starts losing value, you can expect that they're going to be pumping up that press, printing money like crazy. I mean, think about the people that go bankrupt. What do they do just before they go bankrupt? They go and they buy whatever they need and they put it on their credit card because at the end of the day, they're looking at it like it doesn't matter. They're not going to pay it. Is that right? Is that wrong? That's up to the person and the person's beliefs. I mean, I believe you pay your debts. However, I mean, if you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip, I don't know if that's the right saying, but, you know, if someone don't have any money, you can't get it out of them. You know, and a lot of people are going to be hurting when everything collapses. It's not meant to be fear. It's meant to make you think about how we live in. Can you imagine if you had just this in ancient Rome? I mean, it makes a difference. But a lot of people just don't see this as money. They don't see the value in it. And because of that, big banks, they're able to get it cheap. JP Morgan, it's in their best interest to manipulate it down so they can keep stacking it. You know, big banks, they're buying up gold, they're buying up silver. Why do you think that is? When they pull the plug and everything collapses and they know eventually this system can't go on, you know, I guess I won't go into the details about the money. There's not enough money in creation to pay everything off. When you go back in time, the very first $100 that was loaned out to somebody, it was simple. You're borrowing 100, you're going to pay back 105 or 110. Well, where's that other 10 come from? That other 10 is not in existence. All of a sudden, they loan another 100 to someone. Well, here's the thing. Now, 2 people owe 110, but there's only 200 in creation. Well, obviously, one of them, people, is going to get the other 10. That means the other one's going to have to default. That's why there's more and more defaults, and there always will be. You know, a lot of people just, when this is over, there's just not enough money in existence. People don't understand that, and trying to explain a concept to someone that they have no grasp on is just too hard to do. But you guys have been following the channel for a while. A lot of you guys are stacking silver. You know, if everything collapsed, you probably have preps because we've talked about prepping. We've talked about gardening. We've talked about homesteading. We've talked about being smart with your money. We've talked about stacking. You know, I've had some people ask me, why does your channel jump around so much? It doesn't jump around. It's teaching people how to just live a simple and good lifestyle. We don't need as much as we think we do. We don't need the latest and greatest iPhone, the latest and greatest car, the nicest house on the block. We don't need all that. Once you understand that and you start putting this away, you know that eventually when the system goes up in flames, you're going to be covered. Those people are going to be selling them assets, them cars, their houses, whatever, left and right. And a lot of people think that can never happen, but it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up today's video. If you are in a rut, don't panic. You know, relax. Relax and just know that you've got comfort in having some sound money. I thank everybody for watching. If you didn't hit that subscribe button yet, if you're not subscribed, please take a minute, hit that subscribe. Leave me a comment. Hit that thumbs up if you didn't already. And I hope to see you guys again on T-Square Talk. And I hope everybody has a great day. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.